Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing you guys my battle for Week 5 of the PPL Division 2 Season 5. This week we're taking on Hera and his SL Banefica. And, yeah. So, I'm going to bring you the team analysis and then the battle. If you guys would like to skip straight to the battle, there will be first line of the description, timestamp, click it, there you go. For everybody else that wants to stick around, I'm going to talk about the team. I also did make a transfer, so that's probably important. Maybe I should have said that before saying to skip the video, but whatever. That's just how it goes. I did make a transfer, or at least part of a transfer. So let's get to that first, because you can actually see it on my team builder. One of the Pokemon was not usually there before. I actually dropped both Tentacruel and Vaporeon, and I picked up Starmie. And I'm going to be picking up a second Mon, but you can only use a double transfer once, which I already used. A double transfer meaning you pick up two Pokemon at the same time. I'm not allowed to do that in the same week again, since I already did it once, which means I have to wait an extra week to pick up the second Mon. So it is going to be a 2-for-2 swap, but for the points, I wanted Starmie first. I could have done it the other way around, but I wanted Starmie first because I felt that it was important for this matchup. But I picked up Starmie because I felt like Tentacruel was giving me good offensive options, so I just wanted that, but faster and better and more powerful. It also gives my team a little bit more speed, keeps the water typing, and it does sacrifice defense a little bit for this matchup in particular. Once I pick up the next Mon, I'll have a little bit more defense on my team again. But yeah, I think it fits the team really well. Gives me a nice fast rapid spinner and a lot of different options, and I think it's very good for this matchup. So speaking of this matchup, let's go ahead and just get right onto the team. Well, the team that we're building for consists of Zapdos, Garchomp, Arcanine, Greninja, Gardevoir, Cryogonal, Sawk, Lycanroc, Dayform, Empoleon, and Mega Venusaur. So it's a pretty scary team. Has a lot of interesting mons, but just kind of like mine, it's actually a little bit slower than mine. Well, kind of. It's about the type of speed that I run with my team, so isn't too crazy. And yeah, so I think we're able to make use of it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about what I built and why I brought each thing. First thing is Klefki. Leftover, specially defensive, reflect, spikes, toxic, flash cannon, max HP, max special defense, and I 100% forgot about these extra 4 EVs. Also, there's no odd HP, which kind of triggers me, even though it doesn't matter too much for a Klefki. I definitely did forget about that, and I double checked like what I sent to be genned, and this is what was genned, so this is definitely what I brought. It wasn't meant to be, but I must have rushed it and not looked into it enough. But this is my Gardevoir switching. Gardevoir is a very, very scary Pokemon that I do not like dealing with. I can also switch into Greninja. Also, it's good to note that Greninja and Lycanroc Dayformed are his Z-move uses. I will say I didn't really look much at Lycanroc Dayform, like at all. I kind of forgot that was even on his team, to be honest. Oh well, what are you gonna do? So, but that's the main thing that it's there for. It can also switch in, you know, somewhat on Zapdos, somewhat on, Cryogonal for sure. Flash Cannon hits Gardevoir for good damage, I guess as well as Cryogonal. And I felt like things like a Foul Play wasn't really gonna do much to most of his team, so I didn't bother. So Toxic is going to hit pretty much anything else that Flash Cannon won't. Spikes for some setup, and Reflect because he does have some scary stuff that I don't really like switching into a lot. Mainly the Garchomp, and kind of the Sawk. Any like a physical Greninja. Just anything in Arcanine. Those are like the main physical attackers, but I don't really have stuff to switch into them repeatedly, so Reflect is there to help if it needs to. Also didn't really need another move, so I went with that. And then we are bringing Mamoswine Choice Banded, max attack, max speed Jolly, because he has a Gardevoir that is same speed, 80. I think Sawk might be 85, I don't remember. So mostly for the Gardevoir to make sure I outspeed it, but then I have Ice Shard, Ice Cold Crash, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock. With stab coverage, I hit everything for a lot of damage. He doesn't have anything on his team that resists both. Cryogonal, I guess, but that's about it. And I also didn't think of that, but I also don't think it matters. Cryogonal has like 0 physical defense anyway, so I actually didn't calculate, but I'm sure even resisted banded like Icicle Crash does plenty. But yeah, nothing else really does. Banded, yeah, does a lot of damage. Ice Shard, because things that are weak to ice are also faster, like Zapdos, like Garchomp. So having Ice Shard for them is nice. Thick Fat ability is good. Stealth Rock for hazards if I decide that I don't want to get off a Choice Banded hit. So, I mean, we'll see. But that is Megaswan. Very cool. Let's see. Then we got Mega Medicham, Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly, Drain Punch, Hot Jump Kick, Ice Punch, and Headbutt. Brought Max Speed because he's got a Zapdos that's base speed 100. Want to make sure I outspeed so I can hit with that Ice Punch. Ice Punch also good for the Garchomp. Stab is good enough for everything else. He doesn't really have much to deal with that. And Zen Headbutt also does, I think it's the only thing I have that can actually 2-hit KO Mega Venusaur. Yeah. But he had made some comments in like different chats and whatnot expressing his dislike for Mega Venusaur, so yeah, he has some like extreme dislike for Mega Venusaur, so I'm not really expecting it to be brought. So not that I didn't plan for it at all, but I kind of expected it not to show up. So there's that. Then I also decided to bring Specially Defensive Scyther with an Eviolite, Toxic Roost, Aerial Ace, Defog. This is my Greninja switch-in because I don't have a lot to switch into it, which is scary. Toxic Roost for good stuff. I probably chose the worst mon to put Defog on. I have a Defogger in Klefki and a Spinner in Starmie, but we'll get to why it's not on Starmie. But yeah, I don't know, just in case things were up. I had a tough time figuring which move to go with, but I went with Aerial Ace. It's pretty much everything. I guess the only thing that resists it would be, well, I guess Zapdos would, but I mean, I could Toxic that, and I'm not going to stay in on that. And Lycanroc, which again I kind of forgot existed, so whoops. But yeah, anything can be Toxic, and Aerial Ace was also just to make sure I hit like Mega Venusaur, and I guess Empoleon Waltz is pretty hard. Nah, not making a good case for myself as to why I brought this, but it's the only real thing that I had for Greninja, and yup, that's about all I got for you. Next mon is Starmie, being brought with Leftovers, which don't feel confident with that item, but I'm bringing Recover, Scald, Ice Beam, Psychic. 156 speed, Timid is enough to outspeed Garchomp, I think. And then the rest is physically defensive because this is the best semi-Garchomp switching I have. If the Garchomp is Scarfed, then I'm screwed, but I don't see why it would be Scarfed because the only things that are faster are this and Scyther and Raichu. Still, I don't expect Scarf Garchomp. I think that would be a little silly. But Ice Beams for that. Psychic is good stab against his team for like Mega Venusaur, for like Sock, and pretty much anything else. Ice Beam, we've already gone over like the ice stuff. Scald hits like Arcanine and whatnot. And Recover, that way I can just like out-recover like things that might be slower, that I can get a nice recover off on. And that's why I have Natural Cure then as well. So there's not really a room for Rapid Spin. I thought about running Colbur Berry as well for Greninja if I could get a hit back, but I'm not really running any coverage for Greninja, so I don't think that's going to work. And then I would have had to take off a coverage move. Basically, I'm not hitting something. And so I just had to pick my poison, and I picked Greninja as the thing that I can't really hit. And it can do lots of damage to me, so that's scary. Last mon is going to be Choice Scarf, Tyrantrum, Head Smash, Earthquake, Ice Fang, Stealth Rock. I just noticed that I have 2 Stealth Rockers. Whatever. Enough speed to outspeed. Max speed, Greninja. Yep. So that's why I had to be Jolly. Unfortunately, Head Smash hits pretty much everything. Earthquake hits things that resist. Probably does more to Empoleon and Lightning Rock. Besides that, everything's getting hit with a Head Smash. Ice Fang, if I just wanted to, like, guarantee kill the Garchomp. That's pretty much the only thing the Ice Fang's for, because Head Smash does more to Zapdos, obviously. Stealth Rock, I think I just threw Stealth Rock because I didn't really have another move that I needed. And that is my team. So, because I wasn't able to put up a picture of my team right now because there's some more changes going through with it, just so we're caught up a little bit with what my team has. The mons that I did not bring are Tapu Bulu, which almost came, but then there's so many switch-ins to it that Victini did not come. I don't think it's come like 2 weeks in a row now. Could have been a good option, but Arcanine is a pretty good answer to it, unless I specifically build Victini to deal with it, and then it's probably not worth bringing for everything else. But Victini would have a pretty good matchup here. And then Raichu, which still has not been brought. I don't know. Apparently fast electric types are supposed to be important, but I never bring mine, so it can't be that important. Either way, I'm also like 2-2, so But yeah, that is my team. Any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and we will get to the battle, which will be happening in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so we are here for the battle, and clearly it is another showdown battle, not a Wi-Fi battle, because guess what? We DC'd. And of course it was my end, and it was awful. Trying to get this recreated was awful, because he didn't originally have access to Showdown from when the battle DC'd. We had to try and remember turns. It was bad. But this is the battle. This is the best recreation we could come up with, and it is on Showdown, so I do apologize for that. But I would expect to see more Showdown battles, because I'm trying to see if I can just battle on Showdown, because my DS is not staying connected to the internet like ever, and it's bad. So try to get a Wi-Fi battle out there for you, but not happening. So this works for me. Hopefully it works for you. Let's go ahead and break down this match. So you can see the 6 Pokemon he brought were Greninja, Gardevoir, Arcanine, Zapdos, Garchomp, and Sawk. So basically the 5 scariest things, and then Sawk, which is also scary. I just, off first look, I wasn't as scared, but I don't know. Maybe I should have been. Either or. I didn't really have a designated lead, so I just kind of went off a gut feeling, and the thing that deals with most things, at least turn 1, is Starmie, so that's what I'm going to lead off with. And the only thing that doesn't super deal with is Greninja, but then I have a dedicated switch into it, so that's why I felt safe with that lead. So let's go ahead and start playing the battle. I will pause it where I need to, because there were definitely some stuff that we had to do different to make the recreation accurate. We also got a turn wrong, so we'll get there when we get there. So I do lead off with the Starmie, as he is going to lead off with his Sawk, and I am perfectly okay with that. I can just Psychic, and he's got to switch in for that. He is going to switch in his Gardevoir, which also reveals Trace, which I kind of forgot about, but I don't think I have any abilities that I brought that would really come back to bite me. Maybe Prankster, but like, yeah, I don't think so. So I go ahead into my switch in, which is Klefki. He's gonna go for the Shadow Ball, and doesn't do too much. I find out that it is offensive, pretty sure, but obviously like not Specs, not Life Orb, nothing like that. So he's gonna go into Zapdos as I go for the Spikes. I set up a layer of Spikes. I think it'll be useful for his team. It hits everything except for the Zapdos, and if the Zapdos defogs, then it wastes a turn going for defog while I get a free switch in. And the switch in that I'm going to try and go into is going to be Mamoswine, hoping that he defogs right here. But he's actually going to go straight for the Heat Wave. Does a good amount of damage. I mean, I'm still alright, but still would have rather not taken damage. Because of Sprite's route, I think this is a roll, but it's like a roll slightly in my favor. I actually hit the Icicle Crash on the switch-in. That's why. So I didn't go for Ice Shard because I figured he was going to switch out because he can't kill me anyway. So Icicle Crash, like the only switch in to Icicle Crash is like Arcanine, and you're not going to switch in an Arcanine on a Mamoswine just because of the threat of Earthquake. So yeah, so if he switches in Sock, I go for the Icicle Crash, and I do hit. So he wastes a turn going for Taunt because I actually hit in the original battle, and so that is why that happens. But yeah, so I do go for the Icicle Crash, and I do take him out. So clearly he probably knows at this point that I'm banded, and Sock really did not do much. I have no idea actually what kind of Sock he brought because I never saw go for an attack. Well, obviously we saw Taunt there, but who knows what happens there. But he's going to go out to Greninja. I do have my Greninja switch in, and that is going to be Scyther. So I'm going to switch in Scyther as he goes for the Surf, which does like no damage. It's very little. I was super happy about that, and nothing on his team really wants to take a Toxic, so I'm going to go ahead and Toxic, which is good. He goes ahead and he switches into his Arcanine, and right here I felt very proud of myself because the only things that made sense were for him to go for a Fire move or an Electric move, which an Electric move would hit this or maybe the Starmie coming in. The only move that I felt like wouldn't really make sense would be if this was offensive to be like a close combat, which is the only thing that could backfire on me. But I felt relatively confident that he was going to go for either a Flare Blitz or a Wild Charge. That I go for the ballsy switch, and I switch in Tyrantrum. He could have went for Will-O-Wisp, he could have went for close combat, so it was risky, but he goes for the Flare Blitz. Doesn't burn, does 9% of damage, and yeah, he's not ready to take choice Scarf head smashes, so that's exactly what I'm going to go for. Yeah, okay, I hit. I don't know why he sacks off the Arcanine. I guess he didn't expect me to be Scarf. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he went for in the battle. I hit that head smash in the original battle. He just went for Morning Sun, so that way we could recreate it accurately. Like I told you, this was so tough to recreate properly, but in the original battle, he sacks off his Arcanine to head smash. He might not have sacked. He might have been attacking me with a close combat or Will-O-Wisping. He could have been doing who knows what. Since he has Morning Sun, he might have been Will-O-Wisping me, but since I'm Scarfed, I knew I had outspeed, so I went for the head smash and I killed him. So that is what happened in the original battle, and so that is what is happening here. So now he knows. Oh, Rocky Helmet. Yeah, he was 100% probably going for Will-O-Wisp. That's probably the reason he stayed in. But yeah. So now he knows that I'm Scarfed. I'm assuming, and that's why he goes into Garchomp. Head smash does like 40% to Garchomp, so not nearly enough. My only semi-switch-in is Starmie, and so that's what I go for. And yeah, he does go for Earthquake, and I figure here I think, shoot, I forget what I do, because I was thinking that if he stays in, that he probably has Yachi Berry, but I had to risk it, and I'm pretty sure I just go for Ice Beam here. But he goes into his Starmie switch-in, which is the Gardevoir. I do go for the Ice Beam. I risked it, and he did switch out, but hold on, yeah, we're gonna get back to this. So he did switch out, which made me think that he's not Yachi Berry and not Scarf, because if he was Scarf, then he could have just taken me out right there. If he was Yachi Berry, I assumed that he would be able to just stay in and take that and then take me out with an Earthquake. So I felt that's what he did, but he had a nice switch in. Now in the original battle, it did not freeze. So what we had to do is we kind of played around. So what happened in the original battle is he actually double switched out on me, but we got this wrong. In the original battle with Gardevoir in, I had Starmie in. I switched out into Klefki to switch in my Gardevoir, and he predicted that, and he switched into Zapdos. But we're going to use this now to thaw out the Gardevoir. Because I double switched this turn, I get up to like 97% or something like that, whatever. So the only thing that happens is I end up with slightly more health. However, this takes actually forever for him to like unfreeze. So I'm just gonna go through this part really fast. I go for a non-attacking move because what's going to happen is the turn that Zapdos does come in, he goes for Defog. And since we already knew that that happens in the battle, that's why I just kept setting up spikes. But we gotta wait for him to actually thaw out. So originally what happened, double switch into Zapdos as I go into Klefki. And I figured that was safe doing that anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead. Hopefully one of these turns. There we go. Thawed out. Got some damage. It doesn't matter. In the long run, I end up back out about where I should be. So now this is where the battle, you know, we're still recreating at this point, but we're back to, you know, what happened in the original battle, instead of trying to recreate stuff. So, I'm going to go ahead for the Toxic, because I assumed he was either going to defog, and if he went for Heat Wave, it was going to do about 40 to 50%. And I was okay with taking that because I wanted this Zapdos Toxic so I could start whittling it down a little bit. I risked it again. Well, no, this one I knew he was going to go for the Heat Wave, but I wanted to get up a layer of spikes to either make him defog again at some point, which gives me a free switch, or maybe he would over switch and just, or over predict and then go for a volt switch or whatever. He did get a crit here. That did not happen in the battle, but at this point it doesn't matter to me that much. So it's whatever with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch out into the Tyrantrum, because I assume he's either gonna go for a Heat Wave or an Electric move. Neither does that much to Tyrantrum. 11%. Yep. And now I get to click free Head Smash. And if the Garchomp comes in and gets hit by 2 Head Smashes, then it would be easy. So what happened in the original battle is he does switch in Garchomp as I go for Head Smash, and I actually missed my Head Smash. So to recreate that turn, I just switched into another Pokemon, and then we go from there. So I went for Head Smash, and I missed. If I was able to hit 2 Head Smashes, this Garchomp would be gone. I couldn't have cleaned up the battle because his Gardevoir was scarfed, but, I mean, we're looking pretty solid there. So I just went into something, because then what happened the turn after, because I had to switch out of Tyrantrum, I decided that I was just going to switch into something. It couldn't be Starmie, so I went into something that I felt like I could kind of sack off. Mega Medicham right now is getting outsped by everything except for Zapdos, so I see it as not as important, so that's why I switch into Medicham, and he goes for Stealth Rock, which means that I am actually going to be able to get off a hit, which is cool because I was just kind of sacking it off, and I'm cool with that. And if he goes for Defog, then he's defogging his own rocks away, so which means that my spikes are probably up for the rest of the game. I'm going to go here for the Ice Punch, and I do take out the Zapdos. I think he sacked that off on purpose because everything else he has outspeeds and everything. So I'm up 6-3, pretty great. Things are looking good. Also, in the original battle, when I went for Ice Punch, I got static by the Zapdos, and so that's what happens here. So originally, I got static by the Zapdos, so I was paralyzed. He went for Dark Pulse, and he flinched me. And I was so sad, because if he didn't get the flinch, and I would have got the Para, I would have went for Drain Punch, and this Greninja would be dead. But unfortunately, he got the flinch, so to recreate that, I just went for Zen Headbutt to not do any damage to him. And because I'm already at 20%, everything outspeeds me, no point in keeping Mega Medicham around, so I let him take me out with the second Dark Pulse. So, yeah, good bit of hacks here and there. Remembering that turn actually stings a little bit, because if I was able to take out this Greninja with that, with Mega Medicham right there, this would have been a very, very easy win. So right now I'm going to go ahead into Tyrantrum, and I threaten him with a Head Smash. I go for a Head Smash and I hit 1. This is where we DC. This is where we DC'd, and so then we had to recreate the whole way up to this point to be able to finish out the battle. I'm up 5-3. I have a Scarf Tyrantrum that if he hits a Head Smash on this, dead. On Greninja, dead. And then Gardevoir, I think, can get taken out between a mixture of Ice Sharding, Mamoswine, Scyther potentially, depends on how much it can do, Gardevoir can do to me, as well as maybe a Flash Cannon from Klefki. So it's looking like my Scarfmon does so much damage to him. His Scarfmon does a lot of damage to me, and that's where we're at in this battle. So we resume the battle. First thing I do, I'm going to go for a Head Smash to take out this Garchomp, and I miss. And it's so unfortunate because he is able to take me out with an Iron Head, which is so sad. And right about now is when I start freaking out just a little bit, because I thought I had this game in the bag, but as you're soon going to see, it does not appear to be that way. So I'm going to go ahead and send in Mamoswine, go for the Ice Shard. He does actually have the Yachi Berry, so he did have it the whole time. Psyched me out, but it didn't end up mattering. Mamoswine does get this kill, and like I said, Ice Shard still does a lot to Gardevoir, and I can't quite 2-hit KO. I think it's 3-hit KO on Greninja from this range, unfortunately, but I did want to save it, so I had something to hit the Gardevoir with, and my plan here, which has a flaw in it so far, because rocks are up, Scyther is less of a good switch-in, which is why I probably should have had Defog on Klefki instead. Maybe even Rapid Spin on Starmie, but I didn't really have an extra move slot. I definitely could have fit Defog onto Klefki instead of Reflect. So that, in hindsight, was definitely bad for me, because then I would have loved to go in. But I guess it wouldn't have mattered, because this is basically what ends up happening. I sack off Starmie because both things that are left outspeed Starmie. I'm still going off of the Gardevoir being Scarf, by the way. I don't think it was ever confirmed. No, it was confirmed, because when we double switched, he switched Gardevoir into Zapdos, I switched Starmie into Klefki, and he switched out first, which should mean that he's faster, meaning that he had to be Scarfed. So that's how I know the Gardevoir Scarfed. I forgot about that. Yeah, so Starmie is slower than everything, so that's why I sacked it off. The plan here is to go into Klefki and Toxic, but Gen 7 says it's not okay to do, and it's going to deny me, because I had already committed to do my dumb thing. I realized as soon as I hit Klefki, I was like, oh crap, I was like, Gen 7 doesn't work that way, I'm not able to do this, because it's the Dark type. Dark types are immune to Prankster moves, which means I don't know if a Prankster Defog would have went off either, because that would have been the thing to do. If I could have Defogged, then I could have gone into Scyther, and Scyther could have probably 1v1'd these two. We'll have to see based on what happens. So he goes for the Surf. I let Klefki die, and then it's basically down to if Scyther can live a hit. I'm going to go for the Roost, and if I can just Roost stall, I could Toxic, I could Aerial Ace, either or, but because of the rocks, Scyther's down pretty low. But a Surf is technically a roll. I think it's in his favor, but it's not going to matter because he has the Z move. That is going to take out the Scyther. I think if I was able to get rocks away there, I would have been able to live that. I could have just gone for the Roost, and that would have been much better. I don't know if that's what I would have done, because if I was at much more health, I probably wouldn't have thought that I had to Roost. So, and he also shows the Water Shuriken, so that also brings up some stuff. So I felt like I was winning this game, but based on what happened, there's a couple things that could have still happened. Where Tyrantrum was at when Tyrantrum missed the head smash on Garchomp, which allowed Garchomp to kill it. Water Shuriken was a pretty good roll. I think it was a roll to kill with 3 hits. And more than 3 hits it was guaranteed, or something like that. 3 hits might have even been guaranteed. So Water Shuriken, because he had Water Shuriken, he might have been able to take out my Tyrantrum with that. I think the only hacks that really mattered, that really pushed this game in his favor, well, was the fact that head smash missed, because then he was... No, he got up rocks before that. Really was flinching with Dark Pulse. He got static with Zapdos and then flinched with Dark Pulse, which meant that Mega Medicham could not take him out with the Drain Punch. If I was able to take out this Greninja, that would have saved so much of the hassle. And then, of course, if I would have hit the head smash with Tyrantrum, then Tyrantrum would have been around for at least a sack. I also definitely should have brought Defog on Klefki. I do need to know, though, if Defog would have gone... I don't think Defog would have gone off, because it counts as a move against your opponent because it lowers their evasion. So Defog might not have even gone off. That's really, really stupid. But if I was able to defog these rocks away, Scyther could have 1v1 these last 2 mons, I'm pretty sure. So if I was able to do that, that's another way I could have won. So looking back on this battle, I feel like I played better than him, but I definitely did not have enough for a Greninja. That isn't even a lack of team prep. That's just not enough on my team to deal with. The things I did not bring were not going to deal with Greninja. So it is what it is. It's rough that it ended up this way. We moved to 2 wins and 3 losses, which is not great, unless we go on a super huge winning streak, but I'm not expecting that at this point. So that is the battle. It is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's Pokemon, and what are you going to do? So let me know what you thought about the battle. Make sure you go check out his links, his channel and stuff. His links will be in the description below. And I think that's all I got for you. Next week, we are taking on Jim. I guess he's on his other channel now. But it's the Pine Cove Ramblers. I'll make sure that I call him by the right name. It's always been Potato Jim, but I think he's on his other channel now. So either way, we're battling him next week. I haven't even looked at his team, so I don't know what to think about if I have a good matchup or not. But we will find out next week. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. So until then, guys, stay safe.